DBS community, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super video here with Kyle, Chris, and today I'm going to be going over, it's really late, so I apologize if I'm stuttering. We're going to be going over the deck I played for this weekend's local tournament, which was Son Gohan, and we ended up going undefeated, taking first place. Very, very fun deck, very fun deck. I want to play it more. Any Bandai event, though, being best of one, this deck is not very good in best of one. Best of three, you need to be able to side stuff in. Because there are some cards that can hurt this deck really bad, but nevertheless it was really fun. So I'm gonna just go over what I ended up playing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck down below, and we'll start here with what the leader does. So the leader has a permanent where you can gain 5k if you have a skills on board. It never really comes up in this deck. You draw, you attack, draw, take a life if you want to. At 4 life you awaken and you draw 2. On this side you can combo with monster cards for once per turn to draw a card. And then you also can play out 1-drop yellow skills card from the drop area to draw a card. That's also once per turn. This is very Dark Broly-esque. So the idea is that you want to be able to awaken on your turn. Draw a card there. If you draw a card from life, you can. Awaken at 4, draw 2 cards. Combo with a monster to draw another one. And then at the end of the turn, play the monster skills or another skills from your drop area to draw another card. So essentially you can be a draw 6 on one turn if you include the draw from your life. Very powerful leader. So we'll go over the deck. The main list is a 55 card deck. But 55 is pretty generous because you draw a ton in this deck, so it doesn't really matter. So we'll start with this. Well, I'm going to go quickly through some of the stuff. 4 skillless and 4 BR's checklands. Obviously, best turn 1 play. Never charge these cards if you only see one of them. I did that in one of the games and almost lost me my first place spot. But you can combo with this, activate battle, draw a card, and then play it back out to then draw another card, and then use it on your opponent's turn to combo a card and draw a card. So very powerful there. Obviously, Beerus being your check land, you want to play this card turn 1. If you have 2 multicolor cards in your hand, and you have this in your hand, play the other one as an energy, then charge this turn 2. You really want to go you really want to go first in most matchups. You don't want to charge a multicolor in most matchups, and going into the matchup only having a multicolor energy, because you can die on turn 2 and against certain decks, so just be careful. 4 Zamasu, which gives us to our arrival cards here. So 4 Bojack, 4 hit, 2 hit, sorry. 4 Bojack, 2 hit, 4 Zamasus, taps down leader or battle cards. Barrier card that has Aegis, which is a pitch a blue-yellow card, or a blue and a yellow card to then draw a card and then restand 2 energy. And then hit Goku being a dual attack blocker that can activate battle to restand himself during a battle. Does not have to be his own battle. One critique, I probably would run 3 of these instead of 2, because I did charge this card once and it felt really bad. So probably will end up running 3 of those in the future. I have another card I can take out of the deck, so it's not that big of a deal. Blue tech cards, we run 3 Goku Black and 2 of the Undying Sun Gohans. I said Sundying, that doesn't make any sense. Goku Black, you play it for 2 blue. At the end of your turn, you draw 2 cards, pitch a card, and then if you have a blue-yellow energy in your energy, you get to restand a blue or yellow energy. So it allows you to set up for your defensive plays on your opponent's turn. This card comes out for 2 energy if you have a blue-yellow energy, or a multicolor energy, I should say. Comes in, counterplay is play the card. So that happens during counter window 1. Counter window 2, your opponent card effects will trigger, but then this card chooses a card that's 4 or less, puts it back in your opponent's hand, and then if it is your opponent's turn, you get to restand a blue energy. The best matchup for this is Piccolo Jr. So if you play against Piccolo Jr., you play this card for 2, then the card goes back in their hand. And then you get the restand an energy. Both of these cards are great because they set up your plays for your Bojack. So this card will set it up. This card sets it up as well. Then you have 1 energy on board, so then you can Zamasu or use the rapid movement hit as a combo piece. Play out this for 1 energy. Pitch a blue-yellow, restand 2 energy. Now you have 2 more energy open, and you drew another card for extending your defensive plays. This card, there's not much to talk about. When you have a blue-yellow card in your energy, it loses its 1k combo cost, so it becomes just a free 5k combo for blue-yellow. So perfect card for arrival purposes. 2 Bojack negates. Divine Prosperity, the Rose Goku Black one is much better, but it's a little expensive at the time of me making this video. I think it's like $30. I'm not paying that for a card that's that old. So this card is a 1-drop if you have a blue-yellow card in your energy. Negates the attack, and your opponent mills the top card of their deck. So probably the best battle card negate you can play that's not Divine Prosperity. It's better than the 2 Roshi negates because one is a 5k, one's a 4k, I believe, or they're both 5ks, but this is a 10, so might as well just play this one. The big boy of the deck is going to be the Trio to Danger card, Fierce Trinity. So it's Deflect, Double Strike, comes out for 2 energy if your opponent has 2 more energy, and you have 2 or more blue and or yellow battle cards in play. So you can have 2 yellow cards, 2 blue cards, or a yellow, blue, or multicolor. Doesn't matter. Just they have to fit that requirement. There's no uniqueness on there. There's no you can't activate this card more than once per turn. So you can play out multiple of these on one turn if you want. Cards comes into play has Deflect. So there's maybe 2 or 3 cards in the entire game that hit it. When this card attacks a battle card or a unison, your opponent can activate counter skills. So they can activate blocker, but no counter skills. So no counter attacks, no nothing. When this card removes a marker from a unison, you get to blank that card for the duration of your opponent's turn. So you swing at a unison, it pops a marker, and then it blanks its skills. So it pops 2 markers technically because it's double strike, and then you blank its skills for the next turn, so then they can't plus it next turn. I call it hemorrhaging. Basically, you're bleeding out their unison in order to gain advantage. So you not only do you take off 2 markers, but then their card can't plus next turn. So if you're playing against blue, which is the easiest matchup in the world for this card to just demolish, you swing at their Zeno, you swing at their baby the baby unison. You're playing King Piccolo, you swing at the Piccolo unison. You blank it, and now they don't have an ability to plus on the card next turn. So the next turn, if this card survives, then you can swing at it again and then blank it again. Really, really good card. There's games where I had multiple of these on board. Just for 2 energy, and this deck spams out battle cards so easily, you can have two battle cards on board almost all the time. So like once per turn, you can play this card, if you so choose. 3 Raiders Warcry. Since we're running the double strike dog, I didn't think we needed 4 apes. 3 felt fine. 3 Vegeta Unison because we're not playing Mecha Frieza. So Meta Cooler obviously is a better unison in that deck, just my opinion. But any other yellow deck, you just play Vegeta. Stops 80% of the meta from being able to attack with higher battle cards, including any sort of mirror matchup, and then you can also use it as a game ender. 2 Poutine and 1 Son Goku. Taps cards coming in, also taps card if your opponent activates a counter skill. Goku makes all your opponent's extra cards cost for 2. I was going to play 2 of these, but funny enough, I have 2 foils, and I couldn't find my second foil. It's in one of my decks on the side over here. So I couldn't find it in time, and I didn't want to use a common because the full art on this card just looks so awesome. So I just ran 1. But 1 felt okay. I probably would end up running 2 of this card, though. Poutine is extremely good. It hits all of these new token negates that actually I'm probably going to end up putting in the side deck. And I'll get to there once we talk about the side deck. But this card is a negate that also plays a token that has blocker. So if they activate this and you haven't activated your Poutine during their turn, you can choose the token, just tap it. So then they lose the effect of the whole reason why they play the negate. And it has barrier as well. So as you see, most of the cards in this deck have barrier, as most of my decks do. 1 Secret ID, 1 Cooler. Both put in work, saw them all the time. Probably saw them every single game and every single round, except maybe for 1. Free card that warps 6 energy worth of battle cards and then stops anybody from trying to floodgate me. Extremely good. Probably would maybe bump up Cooler to 2. 2 Crusher Ball. Giant Ball is still better in the sense of just gaining value. But Crusher Ball does have some very cool effects. Playing against Sin, they tap 6. You play Crusher Ball. All their cards that don't have Deflect come in rest mode. Any other deck that plays out multiple battle cards, you can play out. If your opponent plays a Booney, you can hit all the tokens. So you have a lot of different plays you can do. And it's a little bit better than Giant Ball in that sense, since it's not choosing the card. But Giant Ball is cool because you can choose the card, so it triggers your Poutine, so you can play out Poutine off of it. Also, draws you a card too, which is really good. 2 Bergamo. The more and more I play Bergamo outside of Mecha Frieza, the more and more I realize you don't need more than 2. It's supposed to be situational, so you don't charge this card. You see it whenever you use Zamasu or you Poutine or you do whatever. Then you play this to basically turn off their play. Comes into play, taps 2 battle cards or 2 energy. Battle cards are ignoring barrier, so it almost hits literally everything that they can play. So we got 2 of those. For Bean, since we're playing blue-yellow, having the ability to restand energy in a yellow deck is extremely good. So we run 4 of those. 2 Final Flash and 1 Champa. This is kind of for when I'm pushing for game. Can blank cards, get 15k to a leader or a battle card, and then gives double strike as well. So both very, very good. For boss monsters, I ran 1 Dark Banisher Fu, and I ran the Heroine's Lineage, almost said Legion. The Heroine's I can't even say the word. You know the card. This one steals a battle card 7 or less during the activate battle stage. So your opponent swings in with a battle card, they dump their whole hand, you just boop, pop 1 energy, take it. I think the card is very underrated. But there's a lot of, high value, I guess some people would call them high value players who talk about this card a lot, saying that, hey, this card is the best unison in the game. I mean, it's the best SCR in the game. It's great. It's better than Kai. Kai is really good. I don't think there's a unison better than, I don't think there's an SCR better than Kai because of what Kai can do, being able to remove an entire board and a unison for 2 energy and you get a 40k body. It's very good. Kai is extremely good. But this card's very, very good in the sense of this card has more flexibility because it's only a 1 energy. Some people may not expect it, but also it happens during the activate battle. So if this card actually works as a negate as well. They swing in with Mira, they swing in with something that's 7 or less. You just boop, pop 1 energy, take the card, and it just gives you some versatility because you can take almost anything on the board. After turn, basically as long as your opponent has 3 energy, if you're playing against Red Broly, that's a really good one. You have the ability to, if they get to the 5 drop, they swing in, they combo a bunch of stuff, you just pop it, take it, and they don't get the removal effect, I don't believe, because it resolves on your turn. So that's pretty cool. So that's the main deck. Like I said, 55 cards. Side deck we'll go through really quickly. 2 Black Mass Saiyan, 1 max power for negates, 2 Jiren to deal with Blue Baby if I had to play against it at all, 2 Frosted Deadly Poison. It's another blue-yellow card, but also it's one of the only cards in the game that stops 6-drop Fu. So if a game's going really, really long, they drop 6-drop Fu, they drop Apex, they drop whatever, I can hit this in counter window 1, turn it off. Draws you a card, and then if you have 3 less life, it gets resanded a blue-yellow energy. Mekikabura for control matchups. I would basically side out Vegeta. I'll side out 2 Vegetas, put this card in, and then use it as a stabilizer for late game. Also, this card can steal cards as well, so you have 2 different cards that can steal cards. 2 Sun Gohan, just in case I play against blue. Sun Gohan Videl, the best yellow side deck card in the entire game. Don't at me. You should play this card in your side deck. Every Blue Baby player is like mesmerized by how good that Sun Gohan Piccolo 6-drop is, where it's a worse version of this card. I think the card says you pay 1 blue and you get the bottom deck 2 cards. Bottom deck 2 cards 3 or less, I think. Yeah, I think it's 3 or less. Well, the reason why they're using that card is to get rid of the True Fighting Spirit cards, which are 1-drops. This card, you play it for 1, draw a card, and then minus 2 cards, ignoring barrier by 5k. So you hit these cards, you hit this, you hit the True Fighting Spirit card, you hit, playing against, for whatever reason, you're playing against AOD, you can hit the Bobbity. But this card is extremely good. Any yellow player should be playing this card in the side deck. No questions asked. At least play 2. And then Dark King's Flash, because I know of the Sin player that I lost to last week, was probably going to end up playing Sin again. So I played this. 1-drop negate. Negates the, it can negate an attack. Or if your opponent has 5 more energy, you can activate this card's skill. Your opponent cannot play battle cards using their leader skill for the duration of their turn. So it turns off their turn 6 play. I was thankful enough to draw both of these in my Sin matchup and play them back-to-back turns and just cut them down. And I don't think there's there's no limit on it. So just stop my opponent from being able to play his cards and end up winning the game. So matchup-wise, it was a small tournament. We had 8 people. We only ended up playing 3 rounds because the shop had to close. But I played against Sin first round. We went 2-0. Even though I 2-0'd them, both those games were very close. And even though I almost lost through two Dark King Flashes, which is impressive. Ended up stealing the 3-drop championship Sin Dragon that has double strike and taps cards. So I took that, and I had Putin on board, so During his turn 6, he couldn't play any stuff with his 6 energy, so he's having to play other cards. So he would play like the 9 drop, or he played the 8 drop Omega. I tapped both of them. Second round was Reboot Gohan. We ended up closing it out 2-1. Matchup is that deck is still just extremely powerful, even if someone's not very, knowledgeable on card knowledge, or they don't play the game a lot. You can just pick up that deck if they understand the concept of, okay, isoing with all this stuff. It's extremely difficult to deal with. And then final round, I played against Yellow Whis. We ended up winning 2-1. Game 2, partially my fault. He played pretty well, but I got to the point where I couldn't draw any cards because the only higher dragon that I saw was in my life. I'm sorry. The only higher dragon that I saw was in my energy. I charged at turn 2, and then I never saw another one again. And I woke it already, so I couldn't. I couldn't draw. I couldn't do anything. So I just sat there and just kept drawing one card per turn, and then just passing. And I had 2 life left. There was like 8 minutes left in the round, so I scooped. We ended up closing it out in like 6 minutes in the next round. We just played really quickly. I ended up hitting all my Zamasus. I hit a Bojack. So what did I hit? Mulligan. I hit. I didn't even charge a multicolor. I think I just charged yellow. I hit 2 apes, 2 Zamasu, a Bojack, and I think a higher dragon. So I charged an ape, swung at leader, drew another ape, and then on turn 2, I think on his turn I played Bojack. On my turn I played an ape. His turn I played an ape. Next turn I played dogs. No, I didn't play dogs. I think I played another ape. And I just kept swinging. It was a lot. I think I ended up using this too at some point during the round. I just can't remember because pretty tired now. But I think Son Gohan is a very fun deck. I think it's very playable in best of 3s. I think you played in best of 1. I think you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, especially because of what's being played in best of 1s. You have to think of what format wise what's being played in it. Red Broly is scary. I know there's been people who have been able to beat Red Broly, but if you've seen a lot of those games online, people who've played this deck to beat Red Broly, it's definitely been in a best of 3 format. So best of 1s, I don't want to play against Red Broly with this deck. So but that does it for me here today. I don't think there's anything else I was going to go over, but make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the deck down below. Hit the bell for all notifications. We do post videos on this channel weekly. Let me know if you guys want any particular type of content on the channel. I got a pretty big list of stuff and not a lot of time, so trying to make as many videos as I can. So thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.